Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to animate the hero section made in the previous video. There will be a link down below to that video in the description. Let's get started. As you can see, this is the animation that plays. The first thing we're going to do is actually create this hover effect on this button. So we're going to select the button, we're going to go over to the design tab, select hover, going to change the background to white, and that's going to have a 80% opacity, and we want the text color to stay black. Next we're going to add the animation to this container, and we're going to select the float in option. I'm going to click customize, and we want it to come from the bottom, and we will leave it on the duration of 1.2 seconds. So if we quickly preview, we'll see the text floats in. For the animation on the astronaut, we're going to be using Velo. So the first thing we have to do is turn on dev mode. We do that by clicking onto dev mode and turn on dev mode. You can close that because we don't need that part. The first thing we're going to create is this floating animation. What we have to do first, we need to select the image, and we're going to hide the image. So now if we click preview, we won't see that picture. The first thing we're going to do is write the code to have the astronaut moving on the screen, and we're going to do that by first of all writing a set time out, and we're going to tell this to activate the code that we've written in here after 600 milliseconds. Right, I'm going to change the ID of this picture to hero img. First thing we're going to do in this set time out is create a variable called float options. So we type const and then the name we want to use, and then we want this to equal an object, and this object can take different options, which I will leave a link down in the description to the Velo documentation for this. What we're going to use is the duration, and we're going to set that to 1000 milliseconds, and we're going to also set the direction to bottom, which will mean when this plays, the astronaut will float in from the bottom after 600 milliseconds. The next thing we need to do is our hero image. Hero image needs to be shown. We do that by targeting it and show. Open the brackets, we tell it what animation we want to use, and we want to use the float animation, and we want it to take in the float options. So now if we click run, we should see that moving, and why isn't that moving in? That didn't work because I forgot to create a variable hero image that we're using there. So we need to write const hero image, and we want that to equal $W brackets, quotes, hash, hero, image. Now if we select run, he should come in after 600 milliseconds. The next thing we're going to do is create this little floaty effect. To do that, we need to import the Wix animation API. To do that, we type import Wix. It will show up in the here somewhere. There we go. Wix animation front end from Wix animations front end. Then we need to create a timeline. So we type const timeline equals Wix animations front end dot timeline, and then the brackets. And this can take an object which can take a couple of different properties. What we're going to use is the repeat property, and we're going to set this to -1. That means it will replay continuously. You can set this to any number that you like and it'll repeat that many times. And then we're also going to add yo-yo, and we're going to set that to true. And what that does is that when this animation plays, it'll play forward and then it'll reverse it straight away instead of starting from the beginning. Next we need to create the animation, and we're actually going to, first thing we're going to do is we're going to move this const hero image from the set timeout on ready function, and we're going to bring it up here because we also need to use this variable to target the image on the animation. So we're going to type timeline dot add, and then we put in the thing we want to animate, which is our hero image, and then this takes an object, and in this object we write the properties to create the animation. The first one we're going to do is write x, which is for the x-axis, and we're going to want it to move 4 pixels on the x-axis. We want it to be 6 pixels on the y-axis. We want it to have a duration of 1000 milliseconds, and we want the ease in to be ease linear. So there is quite a few different ease in options. I will leave a link in the description below to the Velo documentation to show them. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add on to this timeline. We're going to target that hero image again. We're going to add the object, but this time we're going to have the X movement to -4, and we want the Y set to -6, and we're going to keep the duration and ease in the same, so we'll just copy and paste that from there. That's the animation writ out. Now we're going to tell it to play the animation after this one. To do that, we're going to use another set timeout. Oh, it doesn't want to pre-write it for us this time, so we'll quickly add the arrow function, add the comma. We want this to play after 1600 milliseconds. So we set the time, and then in here we type timeline dot play. Now if we click this down and click preview, we should have our astronaut float in, and then he should be moving slightly up and down. Let's click preview. hover done on the button as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask them down below. Thank you for watching.